Welcome back everyone, this is the Plantonics UK StarCraft 2 Open. Game number 3 of a best of 3, a quarter-final game going on between a Terran and a Zerg. Map number 3 is coming down on Yonsu and spawning up in the top right hand position as the green Terran player, winning map number 1, being exceptionally greedy in map number 2 and paying for it. It's RobbyG. And his opponent, down in the bottom left, the orange Zerg player, representing Team Infused. Losing map number 1 to Endless Aggression, and winning map number 2 with Endless Aggression, it's Jamesykins. So, who is going to be the victor? Who's going to advance forward into the semi-finals? Anyone just joining us now? These two playing out for a spot in the finals of the Plantonics Cup. On the line is a GameCon Commander headset. The GameCon Commander headsets are awesome. It's what I use when I'm casting. It's got an exceptionally good microphone on it and just awesome sound. If you want to pick one up, well, they're hard to come by. But if you do want to get some awesome Plantonics gear, you actually can from overclockers.co.uk, and specifically the Rig headset is what I'd recommend. Awesomely cool headset. Anyway, drone just making its way forward at the moment. Gonna go and take a little peek up at what's going on. Gonna see, looks like a Reaper opening. Doesn't know it yet. Already sees there's not a wall off, and as such, not too much going on. But in comes the drone. Gonna go, okay, you're getting a Reaper. There's gas, and there's a barracks. Reaper. Boom. There we go. So Reapers are quite good on this map. There's this nice little ledge for them, nicely put in place in the shape of a heart. So you can just bounce up there. It's like, hi Reaper, I love you. Bounce, bounce. Come and scout and harass. There's also a decent amount of cliff area around here. More places to jump up. It's no heavy rain or star station, but it's still a decent amount of space that you can definitely try and exploit with a Reaper. Second one queued up as well. So 2 Reapers, you want to conserve them. And usually you'll see a follow-up with 4 Hellions come down. The Reapers are used to tank up damage while the Hellions dish it out. And the reason the Reapers are used to tank up the damage is because they can just back away and heal up with combat drugs, whereas a Zerg player can't really do that with Queens, so it's a very effective way to play things. The Reaper though, making its way down, checking at the watchtower just in case anything sneaky was happening. And back at home, RobbyG is taking his expansion just as normal, just as he should be. So the Reaper isn't going to be doing too much as of yet, just poking and chipping away at a couple of Lings. May get a Ling kill. It's going to be aiming for it, but doesn't want to overcommit. Doesn't want to get taken down. As I said previously, keeping this Reaper alive and the second Reaper that's just spawned, incredibly important, because they're essential for the 4 Hellion follow-up to be as effective as possible. So a lot of Lings are already being forced, and this is something that newer Terran players may not see as a big advantage, but remember, every 2 Lings that are produced is 1 less drone. So if you're forcing a lot of Lings out, you're forcing a waste of money, a lower drone count, all for these Reapers that you've already produced. So you're still effectively dealing worker damage to a Zerg. Second refinery is on its way down. We've also got more barracks in production. 6 Lings on their way down, adding in to already the 3 that are on the field, but droning commencing behind this from RobbyG. From Jamesykins. The interesting thing from Jamesykins is that he isn't adding on additional Queens. Many Zerg players will combat this style of strategy by going up to 4 Queens early on, using 3 of the natural, and then adding in 2 evolution chambers to make that choke, and using those Queens along with some Zerglings, trying to snipe off a couple of Hellions, prioritizing them over the Reapers that of course heal up. RobbyG though, just about to get his first 2 Hellions onto the field. 2 more should be following this up. Meanwhile, over on Jamesykins' side, speed has just completed for him. A nice amount of damage being done. Those Hellions just gonna kill off 2 Zerglings. And I say it's a nice amount of damage because any damage you deal without taking any losses is a nice amount of damage. And that's really what RobbyG is achieving at the moment. 0 resources lost, killing off 193 worth of minerals. Always a good trade. That's 193 minerals that RobbyG can have that Jamesykins has got down the path. Nicely done. Marauders being added into this as well. This is quite an early production of Marauders with Stim as well. Now, Marauders are quite a good choice because another way to combat this early Hellion Reaper play is to get out a couple of Roaches. And if you commit with a lot of Roaches, a counterattack can be very frustrating. But if there's Marauders out, those Roaches aren't scary in the slightest. The third base scouted now by RobbyG, starting to just gently work away at it, dealing a bit more damage than it's able to heal up at, but obviously going to take quite a while to actually take that down. A couple more Queens wandering about, the Zerglings coming in, ready from all angles. In total there's 13 Lings. The Hellions and Reapers do need to be a bit careful, they're going to get surrounded. Some very nice control there by Jamesykins. The Hellions though, somehow slipping through that net, just staying up. Critical amounts of health remaining, but wow, that was pretty lucky by RobbyG there, or at least very good skill. Able to stay alive for the most part. Rocks now getting taken down. RobbyG should be pulling back these just to make sure that he can heal up those Reapers, repair them up. No point keeping some low units on the field. Might as well repair them with SCVs. Otherwise, just droning coming down, a Baneling nest on its way out as well. Now for Jamesykins, so he's playing pretty standard. He's also got the 1-1 upgrades on their way through, whereas RobbyG is only just now about to finish up his double engineering bay, as well as having that third command center on its way out, ready to go and take the expansion. Probably to the left, although some Terran players do take this one, just to expand forward, so this little avenue isn't too annoying for them. So the Hellions, now repaired up, are coming back in to go for round number 2. It's going to be a lot harder for them to be successful alone, but with 2 medevacs worth of units, definitely going to be able to dish out a decent amount of damage. Just the one Marauder in the mix. He's probably going to lead the charge just in case there's any Banelings, and try and tank those up. Widowmine in the mix as well is going to help against the Lings. If they do take a big hit, it would be problematic. The Widowmine unburrowing just to make sure that it doesn't detonate on the odd Zergling coming through. The Queen goes down, but now in come the Banelings. They've got to get some good hits. No massive detonations yet. They're avoiding the Marauder. And while a couple of Hellions went down, most of the Marines stay alive. RobbyG tearing through all the drones at this third base, and the third hatch itself is going to fall. This is a great position for RobbyG at the moment, and if he keeps it up, he's going to be in an absolutely sensational spot, already forcing so many Zerglings out. And RobbyG just continuing on with this push. Needs to just make sure that he keeps conservation of these units, doesn't take too much damage, and that's exactly what he's doing. A quick pickup, taking minuscule losses, and is trading at about 3,000 compared to, well, 3 times more effectively than his opponent. Obviously a very nice trade there. The Lings though, they're going to be looking for a counterattack. This third command center, potentially vulnerable, but a few more Marines on their way through. Banelings waddling forward too. If the Marines take it down the Banelings quickly though with some good focus fire, which RobbyG has displayed throughout this series, they're not going to be as effective. The Lings get a couple of kills, but actually they don't. Not a single worker went down there. So these Lings not really achieving very much, and RobbyG is sitting pretty with a 12 worker lead at 12 minutes in the game. That's a very, very nice position to be in. Okay, so where do you go now as Jamesykins? Well, for a start, double expand. This is actually a really smart play because RobbyG's already got his third up, and even if he doesn't, the lost mining time at the third base, having the third base taken down, you've got to make up for somehow. And taking a fourth really early is probably the only way you can do that. Sure, it is a big risk, but if you don't take risks, you're already behind. You've got to take some chances to try and get ahead. But RobbyG is now commencing with this multi-prong, mass drop-heavy style yet again. May only get an Overlord, but that's still 100 minerals worth of damage and a lava. Something you don't want to have to replenish if you can avoid it. And again, for no losses at all. A couple of Marines drop down again. The Banelings are in the back of this group. The Marines getting taken down now. Surprisingly, RobbyG allowing those to die, unfortunately. But he's moving in towards the fourth base. Jamesykins is aware of this, though. Has already got a couple of Banelings and Zerglings there. So shuts down that drop very effectively. What we need to see now is Jamesykins continue to hold these 2 bases and try and sneak out a few more drones. being down at 47 drones to 63 SCVs and 2 mules isn't where you want to be as a Zerg. He's got to find a way to sneak a couple more drones out. And that's where this pressure can become problematic for Jamesykins and for many Zerg players if they feel they always need to be producing units and never getting a couple of additional drones through. Burrow Bailings getting discovered there. Good little scam. That could have been a brilliant play by Jamesykins if they weren't seen. But RobbyG just staying on top of everything for the moment. Got a decent number of medevacs now. Also got a decent number of mines. Going to be trying to get them in a good position. Burrowing them up. The Zerglings coming through the center. Quick on burrows, most of them taken out. The mines ideally want to be detonating onto Banelings as opposed to anything else. The 4th hatchery getting focused yet again. Jamesykins' supply plummeting below that. He's at a quarter of the army supply of RobbyG at the moment. And that is not a nice place to be in. In come the Marines, in come the mines. Jamesykins is going to need nothing shy of a water into wine level miracle if he wants to defend this push, because he just doesn't have any units out on the field. He's got 3 Lings and a Baneling with 16 more Zerglings on their way out. The natural base getting slaughtered. Massive supply blocks from the Overlords dying. If the Banelings get the most monumental hits ever, Jamesykins may buy himself some time. But unfortunately for him, Jamesykins, it's not looking too good. RobbyG though is playing monumentally well. He had such a big lead after taking down that 3rd hatchery that if he continues on with this, it's going to be so incredibly effective. Couple of burrowed Banelings. Waiting is the last chance. A scan goes down though. Takes them part easily. And with that, Grats, RobbyG takes the series 2-1 and advances forward into the semi-finals.